Hey gang, uh, welcome again to another story, another edition of Gavin Reshart Speaks. Um, how you all doing? I know if anyone's seeing this, uh, this is my third video uploaded with regards to the book Katrina, Eyes Have Not Seen, Ears Have Not Heard. And to give you all a reminder, May 15th is my book signing in Lafayette, Louisiana from 2 to 4 p.m. I'd like to just read you a little bit today, a testimony from a lady by the name of Viola Plummer. Mrs. Viola Francois Washington. Back in 2006, May 2006, I interviewed her with my good friend who passed away recently. Rest in peace, Mr. Jones, Irvin Jones. She was the first lady I interviewed, and she's the first person, rightfully so, in the book, in the testimony. And I'd just like to read a little chapter, a little paragraph with you today. This was on Tuesday, May 30th, 2006. This was in the morning time, and this is her account of the horror and disbelief of what occurred during and after Katrina. I really was just returning home from Memphis, Tennessee. I was born and raised there in Memphis, Tennessee. I had just buried my father that Tuesday, and I had returned that Thursday. Between that Friday and Saturday, the storm was rising. Everyone was talking about this one being the big one, or it's not going to be the big one. There's going to be a lot of rain, so evacuate if you have the wherewithal to evacuate. You should leave, as said by the mayor and politicians. It was not mandatory at that time. I was exhausted. I was not prepared to leave. My husband's family lived around the corner. They were ill, and his brother had just had surgery. The hospital sent him home because of the storm, so we all got up in the attic and had no way to get out. Finally, when the storm came Sunday night, water was rising. That Monday morning, the electricity and phones were on. When I went to bed that Saturday night, just for the record, if I could stop right there, she may have meant to say they were off, but we were in the story we did what was said for word, so just for the record. But continue. When I went to bed that Saturday night, it was fine. It was Monday morning when it hit. The storm had passed that Monday. The water was just a foot and a half in the street. My brother called me from Memphis and said, "What are you going to do? This thing is bad." I said, "The storm has passed." He said, "No, you better get out of there because something is going on there." I went to my living room and looked down and saw water under my feet. I looked outside and the water was coming on my porch. It looked like it was just rolling. We started running to get papers and stuff to take it upstairs. That is when we found out the levee was breached. The water took my downstairs in a matter of minutes. The man and his son next door did not leave, and he had a single-story house. The water took over his house. His porch was high, and we had to take them in with us. I had recently built a deck. We got on the roof from the deck, and that is what saved our lives. That's how we got on the roof. We took towels and wrote, "Help us," but we didn't get any help. My uncle, my son, and neighbor swam out to get a boat so that they can get us out. When they came back, they found a rescue crew. It was a small boat that can only hold a few people. They already had 2 people in the boat. My son, uncle, and the neighbor got on the boat. The others stayed. They said we would meet them at the Superdome. When we were going through the water, gas lines had broken and fire was burning on top of the water. We had to keep our hands in the boat because we didn't want to get burned. The old man that was on the boat with us started crying. He said, "My wife and I need to go back and get my wife." He said, "My wife, I need to go back and get my wife. She's in the attic of the house. She can't walk." I came down to see if someone was passing to get help, and they picked me up. I thought they would get my wife. The white guy who was the driver on the boat said, "We are not allowed to get off the boat. We can't do that." So the old man started crying and said she's gonna die. She's gonna think that he abandoned her, but he couldn't go back to get her. We kept asking him, "Where are we going?" We asked the driver, "Where are you taking us?" Uh, I'm gonna stop it right there, guys. This was. I want to make this statement because a lot of people. I've heard people even say this with regards to me writing a book. Why would I want to write something again reflecting on pain that happened 5 years ago? Or why do you dwell on this? Why are we still talking about this? Isn't it over? To me, I don't think people have gotten enough and have gotten the full story or gotten. I think we've only gotten a small fraction in the iceberg of what happened with Katrina. I talk about that in the book. I didn't want to make this book just about conspiracy theories or so forth. That's not the aim I was taking it at. But this story is really about the testimonies of people, the young and the old, that went through something, that went through hell. You know, and still we get hell. Still we don't have, an urgency to rebuild New Orleans. I don't care what you see. Yeah, I'm happy the Saints won the Super Bowl, and I saw Breeze raising the Lombardi Trophy. That did me that did my heart a good service. But to me, that's not just what happens with New Orleans. That doesn't rebuild the lower ninth ward. That doesn't help get schools back. That doesn't help get hospitals back in New Orleans East and the doctors that were there that are not there anymore. It's more to it than that. And I'd say this: the people that say that I made this book or I'm just capitalizing on it in pain and suffering, do you tell that to the white authors that have made money on books on Katrina? Not just that, but not just on Katrina, but on the Holocaust? You kidding me? On the Holocaust, on uh, let's see, the Chicago fire, the great earthquake that struck San Francisco back in the 1900s. People that made books about 9/11. How dare they? This isn't just about. This is about something deeper than all this. And I only want the truth to come out about what happened, and not just not half the truth, not the government's truth, not even my truth, just the whole truth, the God-given truth. And I'll stop and leave it at there. Uh, May 15th. Will be. I hope you all can make it. If some of you can, I understand. But even if you don't want to buy the book, tell people about it, and tell people about the stories of Miss Viola Washington, or Mama D, or Malik Rahim, Clotilde Mack, uh, Irvin Jones, Chantel Young. Those people, those are the ones that really deserve all the credit for this. I'll stop right there. Thank you for your time. Y'all have a good night.